Hi guys, it's Belle here. I'm coming on with a flip through of the final 2 months in the Pink Oddbird 2020 sort of journal challenge. I can't believe it. Final 2 months. This video will probably go up on New Year's Eve. So Happy New Year to all of you. And I hope you had a wonderful Christmas wherever you are. Christmas was a bit different this year for many of us, but we made the best of it. And sometimes when things are difficult, you've just got to focus on the blessings that you do have and make the most of the situation you are in, because, well, doing otherwise just makes you miserable sometimes. And yeah, what can we do? 2020, what a year. Anyway, so I have done these prompts all year by Pink Oddbird. I will leave my playlist, I think it's up there in the cards and in the description down below if you haven't seen it yet, or you just want to check it out, or you just want a recap of what I've done. I had quite a few pages left in this journal that I was working in, so I took the opportunity to do a double page spread for November. I used some scraps that I had. This is off the page of prompts that Pink Oddbird gives you. Use some little November images off November mood boards and some stamps. And down here it just says daily log. It was a word that I had in my stash. And it made me chuckle because it reminded me of Star Trek, as well as, this has been not so much a daily, but a monthly log. Anyway, these are the prompts for November, so let's get started. So the first prompt for November was, oh gosh, can't even open this up now. Describe where you are right now. So I was sitting in my living room at my craft table, which is where I am filming this, surrounded by my craft and journals, trying to catch up on all of my projects before the new year, because I didn't do November's prompts in November. I did them in December. Turning my head, I can see out the window and see a grey blue sky. There's a chill in the air. The washing machine is on in the kitchen. It's almost lunch, and I was listening to an audiobook. And I had this a friend gifted me this little kit that I stitched. I don't know if it was this year or last year, but I'd been saving it for something, and I just thought, you know what, it reminds me of November because it's hedgehogs, even though the flowers are spring. So I just wanted to stick it in there. So I've got a place and I've used it, and it's cute and it reminds me of my friend, and used some Tim Holtz flowers there. So prompt 2, take a 2-hour break from social media. What did you do? Now, I have to admit, I am not the hugest social media fan, so I'm often taking more than a 2-hour break from social media. Often, oh gosh, sometimes I can go for half a day and I haven't gone on social media. Anyway, so what I normally do when I am not on social media is one, obviously craft and do other things, but lately this year the main thing I've been doing is reading. So I had these were like pieces of ephemera that I got earlier in the year. Sorry, taking a drink. And so there's my cup because I like my tea, and here's some glasses and a book, and it just says reading time, enjoying your life. Use some pieces of ephemera I'd got in Happy Mail down here. Use the tag that came with this journal, but turned it so it was decorative, and put every simple everyday life. This was something, it was a large picture I'd got in a Happy Mail this year. Used the tag and then wrote on the back about the reading I've been doing. And even if I'm not physically reading a book, I'm often listening to an audiobook, especially whilst crafting. So that was number 2. Prompt 3, write 3 positive affirmations to yourself. So I used, I just made a simple pocket. Again, used this that had been sent to me in Happy Mail. Put 3 tags, 2 of which had come with this journal and one that was in Happy Mail, and wrote 3 positive affirmations to myself. It's harder than you think. you think when you're doing it, oh, I've got all these positive things I'm going to say about myself. And then when it comes to actually writing them, you think, is that really something positive? Is that really something you need? I don't know. Anyway, I wrote them. This was a really sweet one. Prompt 4, write a thank you note to a loved one. So this opens up, and that's an envelope that I've stuck on there, my letters inside. This is a big thank you that I've put on the top of the envelope, so it's not stuck down, it's just stuck to this bit, and it says thank you on it. Again, it was from Happy Mail, as was this that said loved, and that's personal and private, so I'm not going to read it, but that is a thank you note to a very special loved one in my life. I think we should all do that more. We should thank those loved ones around us. Prompt 5, what makes you fond of November? Create a page based around that. So I basically just went on, looked at all sorts of November mood pages, and this is what I love about November. It's sort of still autumn but going into winter, so it's not as bright as autumn, but you've still got all the oranges and the reds. You're snuggled up by fires, or if you haven't got a fire, radiators or whatever it is, you're snuggled up in the warmth, woolly socks, woolly chunky blankets, reading books, chestnuts, the frost on the leaves, drinking hot chocolates and spiced apple as we're moving more into winter, cinnamon and oranges and all that good stuff. It's basically, November is the perfect month blended with the beauty of autumn and the frosty yumminess of December. Well, that's what I think anyway. So that is my mood board. Day 6. What is your favourite fruit or vegetable? Sketch it out and write why you love it. Well, as any of you know who followed me for a while, I don't really draw, but I'm really happy with this, how this came out. I found it was just, I literally typed in how to sketch a pumpkin. I know I shouldn't need it, but that's how basic my drawing skills are. I had some of this paper that I'd been using earlier in the year in my scrap pile. It was from Brusho Crystals, and it had all these oranges and yellows on it, and I thought perfect for pumpkins. So I sketched out my pumpkin, did a bit of very basic shading, stuck it on this page, put a bit of scrap behind it and a little tag. There was some extra of this ribbon, which is actually on the side of the journal and wraps around it, so I used that because it reminded me of November and pumpkins. And I just said I love pumpkin. Not only is it sweet and versatile because it can be savoury or sweet, but in the midst of sort of autumn and winter, when a lot of the vegetables are green or browns, your dinners become very brown and green, and I'm a seasonal eater. Pumpkin just gives you that bright fresh of colour and vitamins and that we all need in winter. And also I just actually love the shape of it and the smell of it. Day 7, are you currently reading anything? Write a little blurb about what you're reading and what you like about it. Now, I gave myself the challenge of reading 25 books this year, and I have read over 100, and especially since finding audiobooks in September. So I did this simple spread. This was a pocket that was already here. It's another one of those ephemera pieces. It's some books with some, I don't know if that's holly or bay on it, but anyway. This obviously is more of these mood board collage things with books on it. So first of all, I'm physically reading Terry Pratchett's The Hogfather. It's the first actual Terry Pratchett book I've read. Shock to any of you fellow readers out there, but yes, it is the first actual one I've sat down and read. I've seen the TV adaptation, and what I love about The Hogfather is not only is it Terry Pratchett's wonderful, crazy, unique, genius humour and sort of political referencing and satire that still is very relevant today. But anyway, I just love the idea of death taking over the role of Father Christmas. It makes me laugh. And the actual audiobook I was listening to while I was doing this, was Murphy's Law by Rhys Bowen. It's the first book in the Molly Murphy book series. I think there's like 20 of them. I'd read the book 17 for part of one of my Christmas books because it was a Christmas kind of murder mystery. I love Christmas murder mysteries. And Molly Murphy is basically, I think it's set near the turn of the century or just after. It doesn't actually give you an exact time, but there is cars and electric lights and things. So anyway, she's a young Irish girl who escapes from Ireland after being attacked by the English landowner's son. Attacked quite, you don't hear about the attack in detail. Thankfully, nothing happens, but she kills him accidentally. So she escapes to America in disguise under someone else's name. Don't want to say too much in case anyone wants to read it, but it's a really good book. And whilst coming to America, she meets some people on the boat over, and then a murder happens on Ellis Island, and she kind of gets pulled in for questioning about it. And then she decides, and then someone she cares about gets pulled in for questioning. So she decides she's going to try and track down and work out who the murderer is. She's obviously new to New York. It's her first week. This all happens within kind of her first week in America. She gets into lots of dangerous scrapes because, she doesn't know where she should and shouldn't go really because she doesn't know the areas. And she meets a really nice policeman, and it's just, do you know what? It's just a really good book. It's not that in depth, and it's just really nice to listen to. And I really like it because the woman who narrates, Molly, has an Irish accent. So, it's a good book if you're looking for something. Anyway, finished it now. On to a different audiobook. December, so we are on the final month. I've got a little tab here, and this one, not only did I put the D because every month has its letter, but a little bead that I had. December was easier to kind of do because I'm in the middle of finishing my December daily, so I literally used what I had around me, didn't overthink it. Made this little pocket, some washi, a little embellishment, and again, this is from April's prompts. First page, can I just say, if you haven't seen April's for this, her response to this prompt made me laugh so much. Go check out the video. What advice would you give to a Grinch? Prompt 1. So I got a bit like, that's why I used some Grinchy wrapping paper I had and some little word snippets. So it says resting Grinch face, Christmas chaos, and official Grinch. And I just said, dear Grinch, if the festive season may seem full of extravagance and commercialism, yet it's so much more. Look beyond the glitz and you will see a celebration that focuses on family, love, friendship at home, a time of light in winter darkness. Spend your time telling those you love why you love them. Give your time to those in need. Volunteer at food banks. Walk winter woods. Drink hot chocolate. Sit by a fire. Or write a gratitude list. Because I love Christmas. And it's not the commercialism or any of that. Those are some of my favourite things to kind of do. But I really think Dolly's one was much better. Mine was far too long-winded. I overthought that one. Anyway. Day 2, this is the time of, or prompt 2, this is the time of year where we try and keep holiday spirit alive. Make an acrostic poem using the word spirit. So again, I did this double page collage. These are some of the papers I had in my stash. This is one of the stash snippets that I made for my December daily. Bit of holly. It says I love this time of the year. Use some letter stickers, and I just put snowflake kisses, people laughing, icicles hanging on branches, robins and reindeer in by the fireside, time to make memories. Because, yeah, I just did. They went with the words, and it sort of sums winter and Christmas up. Prompt 3, write a lyric to your favourite Christmas song. Again, firstly, did the pages like this because I wanted this music page for this. Used some ephemera I had, back this little word saying Christmas and added some ribbon. Did a little mistletoe stamp. This, funny enough, I actually won this last year at Christmas time, was it? April, Pink Oddbird was doing a little giveaway and I won it, and this won the pieces of ephemera because I still haven't used them all. So one of the songs that I realised listening to it this year could have been written almost for COVID was Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. So I wrote some of the lines from that kind of remind me of why it makes me think now of a COVID Christmas. I'm not going to sing it. I won't subject you to that. So have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. I wanted to include that because we celebrate Yule. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. And then another part says, faithful friends who are dear to us can gather near to us once more. And then another bit says, if the fates allow. So I've taken all these different lines in the song, kind of put them together to make me realise that, yeah, some of us haven't had our family. Like, I haven't been able to have a lot of my family, like my daughter and Nat, with us this year. But hopefully next year, all these troubles will be far away and we can go back to having those we love around us. But while we can't, have yourself a merry little Christmas anyway. So, I got a bit deep. Day 4, what is the biggest lesson, most memorable moment, or new thing you've learned about yourself? So I made a little pocket using some ephemera, made this little tag where I put the word Christmas blessings, and she's holding fir cones because it kind of reminded me of, you know, all the lessons you've learned, you're kind of holding them in your hand and they're blessings even in difficult times. And then I put a bit of a crazy picture of me over there with my crazy hat. And just said, writing it all down, bring it on. So again, it's a bit personal, but I guess one of the biggest lessons I've learned about myself is that I am certainly more resilient than I think I am. And well, anyway, there we go. There's lessons. And bring it on was because, yes, we've had 2020, we've had a lot of stuff, but that's okay because we're strong enough to deal with it. So I really want it gone now. So Day 5, decorate a page filled with gifts. So I went for it. I've got a lot in my stash, lots of stickers. These are 3 different ephemera pieces that got a vintage retro style from Anna Griffin. Put Santa Claus is coming to town. Little All I Want for Christmas. Little sticker I've been saving for ages. This teddy bear and card actually comes out of the bag. How cute is that? Toy soldier stamp. This says, do not open until the 25th. So I just did a whole page of gifts, of things in my stash. Literally using up what I have. Day 6, if I can get to it. What are your parting words for 2020? And what are you most excited about? Well, I'm sure we've all got a few choice words for 2020. And I did write that, hold on. So I did this little pocket that says goodbye 2020. Again, these are some ephemera pieces. So I just said, goodbye 2020. I'm grateful for all the clarity you brought. Clarity was actually my word of the year this year. And boy, did I gain clarity. But I never want to see you or your like again. And then I kind of put on the back, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Because in our house, we do the very old tradition. This is really old. This goes back like 100 years or more. Where it's a very sort of folk tradition where we run to the back door to say goodbye to the old year, close it and run to the front door to say welcome the new year. So don't let the door hit you on the way out. 2020 is literally us running to the back door and saying bye, slamming the door and quickly running to get. Anyway, it made me chuckle, running to see 2021 in, which again is going to be difficult for those first few months, but hopefully we'll see. And what I'm most excited about, this is a picture, Christmas obviously picture. This was taken last year at a Christmas market that we'd gone to as a family. So what I'm most excited about is being around my family again, actually getting to be with my daughter, actually getting to hug her, actually getting to go on day trips and not be scared, being able to plan. I mean, this year, I don't know about you guys, but you just can't plan. Every week it seems like there's another news announcement and the government's changing something else, and you're scared anyway. And I'm just looking forward to some kind of, even though it'll be different, some kind of normality in 2021, probably by the summer, I'm thinking, where we can just go on day trips, have fun, go to the theatre, be a family, and hopefully spend Christmas together. Final prompt for December, final prompt of the year was create your ultimate holiday spread. So I hope you can see that I went a bit cray. I used lots of papers that I had scraps of that I love. Like I really love this bold snowflake one, and I really love this kind of holly one. I used die cuts, like I've got a few of these left that I'd brought years ago, and I really love it. It's gingerbread houses, Santa and his reindeer, got a little felt Christmas tree, tiny little gingerbread that I got in some Happy Mail, wooden snowflakes. I stitched this tag. I stitched a whole load of tags, but I think I've only got 2 left because I gifted them. Again, this was all in Happy Mail, so bring on the snow. Love this little nutcracker, and it reminds me of my daughter because it's one of her favourite things, and she's sort of just really on my mind at the moment because we haven't been able to see her. It's it's been a long time. I think September was the last time we were able to see her. Obviously we can FaceTime and that, but anyway, Merry Christmas. And there's a little cup with some hot chocolate, and that is my ultimate holiday spread. Even used a bit of vellum that I still had because it reminded me of the snow behind the snowman. And then final page, I just wrote a kind of what I felt about doing this challenge, which I absolutely loved doing. It was, I just want to say a big thank you to you, April, because obviously at the start of this year we couldn't have known what on earth was going on. At the start of the year there were still the fires raging in Australia, which were horrific enough, but we didn't know what it was going to be like. And I know a lot of us, me included, have really struggled with crafty mojo or motivation. It's been a difficult, very, very difficult year, not just because of COVID, but because of so many things. And people's mental health and physical health has really, many of us have had a downturn for the worse. And I know I've been battling my anxiety really badly. And these prompts were just a way to distract myself for a few days each month, something to look forward to each month when that video went up. And I started off trying to, really overthink and be really particular with my spreads. And a few months into it, I just let go. I just had fun. I stopped trying to be perfect. I used up some of my stash. I used up things I've been hoarding for ages. And I just let myself, almost childlike, have fun. There was a great mix of really reflective prompts that April created, and then just some really fun ones that you could just do anything that you wanted with. And these, I got to use, let me just show you, I got to use 3 journals that I've had in my stash for about a year and a half that I hadn't used. And these, look what it looks like. It looks so yummy completed, even though they're 3 separate journals. How yummy does that look? Anyway, I got to use 3 journals. Well, I made that one. So actually I got to use 2 journals in my stash. I got to get creative. I got to look forward to something. I got to get a bit reflective. So thank you so much. I really appreciate all the hard work you put in, especially during this very difficult year for these. And well done to all of us. Yay, pat on the back for completing. What is going to be great is in a few years, in fact, I'm going to kind of look through this one in the next few days. In a few years, these are going to be fun to look back on. And even though they were random, some of these prompts were inspired, like my spreads were inspired by what was happening, especially with COVID and the Black Lives Matter movement. So yeah, and it's really interesting because the first few months prompts were all about what are you planning for the year? Where are you planning to visit? And obviously, none of that happened. So, but I'm going to look back and see if any of that stuff I want to do in put on my 2021 goal list. If you haven't watched April's, please go check them out. This is not just for this year and over. These are great prompts for anyone who likes to journal. You don't have to do them all. Look at all the different months. Pick either one month to do or pick a few prompts all over. It is up to you. And these would be great for any journaler to kind of, and art journaler to do even next year or the year after. I'm really glad I've done them. And as I say, thank you so much, April. And thank you for all of you who've watched these videos and come on this journey with me this year. And that's one project of 2020's. Well, it's another project finished because I also finished the 100 Days project, which I'm very proud of. And considering how much I've been struggling with my crafty mojo, that is like an achievement. So I'm what's the word I'm looking for? I'm recognizing that for myself, congratulating myself on that. Anyway, wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing this New Year's and whatever your traditions are, Happy New Year's to you. And here's to 2021, everyone. Until next time, December blessings. Bye.